Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. What if just 4 minutes could restore trust, rewrite history, and reconnect millions of hearts across the world? On August 3, 2025, something magical happened in Wuhan. No flashy tech tricks.
No PR hype.
Just one artist, one phone, one song, and a global audience holding its breath. This is not just a concert moment. It's a masterclass in human connection, and it begins with silence. Before a single note was played, before Liu Yuning sang a word, something rare unfolded at the Wuhan concert. Something that didn't involve music, lights, or choreography. It was silence, but not the kind that comes from hesitation or uncertainty. It was a silence born of trust, of collective understanding, and of quiet sacrifice. When Liu stepped onto the stage, he didn't ask for applause. Instead, he made a simple, unexpected request: that everyone in the arena switch their phones to airplane mode. For a moment, the air hung heavy with surprise. In a world where phones capture everything, from selfies to live streams, asking fans to disconnect seemed almost counterintuitive. But Liu wasn't trying to exclude anyone. Quite the opposite, he was thinking of the millions who couldn't be there. Those watching from afar, hoping for just a glimpse of this long-awaited concert. And so he asked those closest to him, the people in the crowd, to make a small sacrifice for the sake of something bigger. And they did. One by one, screens dimmed. A hush fell across the audience.
No scrolling. No distractions.
Just presence. That unified stillness became its own form of music, a shared heartbeat among strangers. It was a powerful reminder that sometimes, the most generous thing we can do is to step back and let others have the spotlight, even if only for a few minutes. That silence didn't steal the energy of the moment. It amplified it. It set the tone for what would become a night not about noise or spectacle, but about connection, respect, and the kind of loyalty that transcends signal strength. It was the kind of silence that doesn't ask to be remembered, because it already lives in the memory. When Liu Yuning began to sing Find You, the atmosphere shifted, not just in the arena, but across millions of hearts watching from afar. This wasn't simply a performance. It was a deeply personal offering. Every word he sang seemed to carry the weight of years, of promises made and promises kept. The lyrics spoke not just of a journey across mountains and rivers, but of a persistent, almost sacred devotion. A vow to seek, to wait, and to never betray the moment of meeting. It was a message not directed at a single person, but at an entire community that had stood by him through absence, postponement, and silence. The song felt like a bridge between past and present. For those who had held on to their tickets for 6 years, through pandemic delays and uncertainties, this wasn't just the revival of a concert, it was the fulfillment of a silent covenant. Find You became a mirror through which fans could see themselves, their patience, and the unwavering loyalty they had given so freely. And in return, Liu gave them something that couldn't be measured by duration or production value. A performance that felt closer than front row, as if he were singing directly to the hearts behind the screens. What made it unforgettable was not only the song's beauty, but the context in which it was delivered. Handheld, intimate, focused, and real. No filters, no spectacle. Just a man and his voice, and the kind of sincerity that leaves no room for pretense. It was a rare alignment of music and meaning, where the performance transcended entertainment and became something sacred. In that moment, Find You was not just a song. It was a promise fulfilled. A quiet anthem for those who waited, and were finally found. Long before the triumph of the Wuhan livestream, there was a moment of quiet failure. A moment that could have easily been forgotten or dismissed. During a concert in Shenzhen, Liu Yuning had attempted to livestream his performance, hoping to bring those not in the venue a piece of the magic. But what he didn't anticipate was the overwhelming love of his fans. As thousands in the audience opened their phones to join the stream, the network collapsed under the weight of their simultaneous connection. The livestream faltered, lagged, and ultimately failed. What should have been a proud moment became an unexpected embarrassment. Liu later recalled it with humor, calling it a spectacular face-losing moment. But beneath the laughter was the sting of disappointment, not just for him, but for the fans who felt let down. What followed was not retreat or resignation. Instead, Liu did something far more powerful. He learned, he listened, and most importantly, he refused to let that failure define his relationship with his audience. The Wuhan concert became not just a musical comeback, but a strategic and emotional redemption. The airplane mode idea wasn't merely clever, it was built on respect. Liu understood that in order to deliver something meaningful to his online fans, he would have to rely on the cooperation and compassion of those in the arena. And he trusted them enough to ask. That trust paid off. By transforming a past failure into an act of collective generosity, Liu created something revolutionary. A global live stream that succeeded not because of cutting-edge technology, but because of mutual understanding. The 4-minute broadcast from Wuhan wasn't just about getting it technically right. It was about healing a missed connection, about showing that lessons can turn into legacies. It sent a message to fans everywhere. Mistakes don't end stories, they begin better ones. In an industry often obsessed with perfection, Liu's approach was refreshingly human. He embraced vulnerability, turned it into strength, and invited his audience to be part of that evolution. The result wasn't just a seamless live stream. It was a global first born from humility, resilience, and an artist's quiet determination to try again. Not alone, but with the people who believe in him. As the lights bathed the stage in gold and shadow, Liu Yuning emerged, not just as a performer, but as a figure etched in mythology. Draped in a dark, regal ensemble, with a golden thorn crown resting solemnly on his head and a scepter in hand, he didn't just look like a king. He embodied something far more complex. He stood as a sovereign of emotion, a ruler of vulnerability, a storyteller who bore both the weight of the crown and the scars beneath it. This wasn't theatrical pageantry. It was symbolic. Every element of his appearance was deliberate, echoing the theme of triumph through pain, of dignity forged in silence, and of leadership defined not by dominance but by empathy. The thorn crown itself was a visual metaphor too striking to ignore. Unlike the polished crowns of royalty that boast power and invincibility, his was spiked, imperfect, a reminder that rising to the top often comes with wounds the public cannot see. And yet, Liu wore it without fear, almost defiantly, as if to say that the path he's walked has not been painless, but he carries it all with grace. It was an image that resonated deeply with his fans, many of whom have followed him through years of quiet perseverance, setbacks, and evolution. What elevated the moment beyond visuals was the way Liu moved within it. He didn't command the stage with grand gestures or overwhelming theatrics. He let his stillness speak. He allowed the presence of the moment to breathe. There was a quiet authority in the way he held the microphone, in the way his eyes searched the crowd, not for admiration but for connection. It was as though he wasn't performing to prove anything. He was simply showing up, fully himself, stripped of ego but dressed in symbolic power. That night, he wasn't just the king of the stage. He was the embodiment of resilience turned art, of humility turned strength. His presence, haunting yet warm, fierce yet fragile, reminded everyone watching that true leadership doesn't require noise. Sometimes it only takes one man standing still in a crown of thorns, singing to the silence between hearts. In that moment, Liu Yuning didn't just perform. He became a living metaphor, and the stage became his throne. What followed after was unprecedented. The hashtag #ImWatchingYuning's concert via his live stream exploded with over 1 billion views in 24 hours. Over 4.09 million people tuned in live. Fans across continents began their own airplane mode rituals during replays, a quiet homage to a shared moment. One fan from Canada wrote, "I wasn't there, but for 4 minutes I felt like I was front row. And I cried." Another in Indonesia said, "It wasn't about watching. It was about being part of something pure." Innovation is nothing without empathy. 430. This wasn't a tech stunt. It was emotional engineering. Liu didn't just live stream. He orchestrated a human moment in a digital world, something algorithms can't replicate. And in doing so, he reminded us, even the briefest gestures when made with love, can echo across the world. The legacy of 4 minutes 5:10. Today, people still talk about that night in Wuhan. Not because of the number of viewers, but because for once the internet didn't feel distant. Felt like home. 94% of fans who held their concert tickets for 6 years weren't disappointed. They were seen. They were heard. And now millions more are part of that legacy. Because Liu Yuning proved that connection isn't about duration. It's about intention. If this story touched your heart the way it touched ours, don't just leave, stay with us. Sparkle, subscribe to UpToText 24H for more moments like this, where music, humanity, and wonder collide. Movie camera, turn on notifications so you never miss a heartbeat in the world of Asian entertainment. Speech balloon, drop a comment below. Where were you during Liu Yuning's 4-minute miracle? From our studio to your screen. Thank you for watching. Stay inspired. Stay connected. And as always, see you in the next story.